going to give you a quick demo of our CTN Network website, ctnnetwork.net. Join our community. It is free. You just type in ctnnetwork.net, and this is the homepage right here. And if you want to create an account, you would just click up here and create new account right here. Sign up with your email, or you can sign up with just clicking on Facebook or Google. So you can sign up with your Facebook account or your Gmail. So I'm already signed up, so I'm going to click in Gmail right here. Forum, and this is a forum where you can post things, you can interact with one another, and there's also a blog right over here that we post our own content on. And if you click on CTN Studios, you can watch our live show and other content creators live shows right through this CTN Studios. We do have advertisements for some of the content creators. There's the Crypto Smith, there's Waddy, the Crypto Hunter, and we also have live charts for the ISOs right in this box right here. We have a feature where you click on the heart if you want to donate to us. You can donate with Ethereum or Binance, BNB. And also, if you click on this button right here, we're going to have a call-in feature, which is already live. If you want to call us, just click on the green icon, the green phone icon, and click on Call Now. And during the show, between 9:15 and 10, when we announce it, when Max is on or when I'm on with Max, we will start accepting phone calls, and you guys can be live with the show. If you want to turn your video on, you can come on camera as well. So good stuff there. Now back onto the homepage. If you click on members, you can see all the people that are members here. All these people here, like Chaka just signed up, Gills33, Miguel. All these people here are members of our community. So you guys can sign up, and then you can chat with one another. So you can either click over here, message right here. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to welcome him. I'll send him a quick message, and then I can click enter or just a little arrow. If you want to message somebody else, you can click on message, or you can go right over here into members chat and go ahead and message them and create a new chat if you want by clicking this little button right here. Now also, if you scroll down here, you can see some of the past videos that our content creators in our content creator family have created. You can go in here and watch some of the recorded videos. They're scrolling down here. Just choose one to watch. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching this brief demo. Make sure you sign up so you can interact and be part of the community when we are not on the live show.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be back with you guys tonight for some Crypto Talk Now on this edition referred to as Friday Surprise. We're going to get into what that surprise is going to be, but it's going to be quite the show to say the least, and just really glad to be here with you guys. All right. So we're going to start things off with welcome our wonderful community that we have here tonight. We're going to start things off with the first comment of the day. And it comes from JC the man. Hello, Mr. JC. You are the man. Hello, hello. He says, hi. Glad to have you here. Tim Shea, who says, hey, the crypto commissioner, Mayor of Crypto. Glad to have you here, Mr. Tim Shea. On top of that, we have Crypto Puppet says, sup to Tim. Glad to have you here, Crypto Puppet, as well as Brittany. Thank you for being here. Ahmed, welcome back. Stardog, glad to have you here, especially on the weekend. Stardog, always a pleasure to see you, sir. Mr. Boomer Effin Sooner says, hey, Max, glad to have you here. Mr. Effin Sooner, Coochie Boys in the house. Big Mike 690069 says, yo. Kind of wondering if that's our Mike Cornwell or if that's somebody else, but nonetheless, if it's not, I'd like to welcome you. Glad to have you here. But he says boom, so I think that is Mike Cornwell. All right, so let's go further down. Elon Musk says I had to put my mask back on. All right, so I guess that it was, yeah. All right, welcome. Glad to have you here. Michael Montclair as well. Glad to have you here as well. Stump Riders in the house. Smash that like, guys, if you haven't done so already. Let's see how we're doing on some of those likes. 16. But yeah, thank you very, very much. Kind Lee says, hi world. Well, welcome to Kind Lee. I don't think I've seen you here before. But you know, guys, let's give Kind Lee a warm, kind welcome. All right. Triple C is back. Welcome, Triple C. Cool Cat Crypto. And I want to welcome Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk. He said, what's up, CTN fam? Cash Cats is in the house. He said, hello, Max, CTN fam. Thank you for being here, Mr. Cash Cats. All right. Dingy is here. He says he's ready and he's moist. Wow. All right. Michael Frank Sinatra. Yep. Michael Montclair. Yep. Good to see you. Mr. Coochie Boy. Max, let's go. We are definitely going to go here in a bit. Glad you're here, brother. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm going to do my best to just, focus on what needs to be focused on. But yeah, I should be good. Thank you very much, though. I wanted floating head, to say the least. I could give you guys that again. I'll try to make sure I do that next time. How about that? All right. All right, Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk. With all the Binance FUD, you guys still believe in Jasmine's potential? Oh man, that is the surprise tonight, my friend. I got probably the most deepest dives when it comes to Jasmine tonight. So, not financial advice. Not trying to get anybody into Jasmine. You guys choose what you want to do with it personally. But there's going to be something that's going to be presented to you guys that you may have never seen before. I'll just throw that out there. All right. Stargazer said, hey, Max, hope all is well. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to go pick up my dad tomorrow and welcome him back home because he's going to be released. And, he was in that rehab clinic for physical therapy for 3 weeks. So I'm sure he's looking forward to finally being home. All right. Mr. Cash Cat says, Mr. Lambo, and yep, the hype is real for Majasmi. Yeah, well, when you see this, I don't know what to tell you. You have to draw your own conclusion. And for all those people that are, flooding Jasmine, it's an ERC20 token. Take a look into the last couple deep dives. We talked specifically about how they're going on a path forward for building their own blockchain. And in the future with the data free flow with trust, it was mentioned a few times in particular that you will get to the point where you won't even have to worry about some of these particular gas fees. Now, right now, yeah, of course, with ERC20, you're going to, but that is something that they are fully aware of, and I'm glad that they're addressing it. All right. On top of that, I want to welcome Mr. XXI Gaming. What's good, everybody? What's good with you? Glad to have you here. Mr. XXI Gaming. Always a pleasure to see you. Also, Mr. Brian Dowie. Glad to have you here, Brian. She does dig those deep dives, doesn't she? I got to trade this darn frog for something Jasmine, perhaps. No. But you know what? I did see a TikTok video that Larry sent me. And by the way, congratulations to Larry's son, who's graduating today, class of 2023. That's got to be pretty awesome for a parent to be able to, be there for their son and so on, or daughter, right? So that's where he's at. But he sent me a TikTok video, and in that TikTok video, it mentions some key things. And what I'll do later tonight, hopefully, is I'll take that particular, I guess you say, TikTok video or whatever, and I'll try to share it on Crypto Twitter if it'll allow me to do. I'm sure they allow for TikTok. But it mentions a few key things. Like there's these guys, they originally invested in SHIB. They originally invested in other projects. They obviously got into PayPay, and you can follow, like you can get an actual alert about these specific wallets, if you will, right, or addresses and what they're doing. And to me, it's like, that is worth paying attention to. So anyway, Kid Grebo, Peace Max, what's your opinion on Ledger? I saw some of that recent FUD and bad news when it comes to Ledger. I do not like what I saw. My thing is this, the whole point of Ledger is like, as the saying goes, not your keys, not your crypto, the decentralization all the way, but yet you're allowing third parties on that last update. And I get it, their excuse was because, what if people lose their seed phrase? All right, well, what if people do lose their seed phrases, right? Like, we understand that already. So, but you're going to force it down people's throats. So, I'll have to see what's the next response, because I heard that there is a response that they came out with, like a small press conference or whatever it was. There's a lot of people that are like, to hell with Ledger, and people are looking towards other avenues. For me personally, I may go with Hedera, with what they have. Some of the hardware wallets that they that we shared with you guys and so on. And let's face it, even with Hedera, their plan for the future was to be the first, right, if we understand it right, to create some kind of mechanism that if you lose your seed phrases, God forbid, should be writing that stuff down on a physical thing and keep it hidden, and where at least you and your spouse or whoever knows where it's at. But at least they got that going on. So I'm thinking to myself, they might be the answer. You know what I mean? Like, they're really trying to invent this thing that is going to solve the whole seed phrase thing. They already have pretty good hardware walls. That could be opportunity for them. I think it already is. So for me personally, I have to work out some things to it's a pain, but it's a pain for a lot of people. But at the same time, I want to see what happens by next week. I imagine there's going to be some bigger news next week for Ledger, but on the surface right now, a lot of people are ticked off about it. All right. Going to welcome Patrick Collier and a few more people. Coolcat says he had Jasmine for and traded for the frog. Maybe trade back. That's okay. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. All right. I got to get rid of my Luna Classic. It's making me sad. I'm not going to get rid of it. The way I look at it, the real true all-time highs for the bull market will come back, and I'm not going to, trade it for, for a loss. Do we get to, some of these crazy price predictions of $1 and so on? I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I got to follow it more closely compared to like how I used to follow it. But I will say this. I mean, if we get to some of the things that I still think we can achieve, like Michael Cornwell was mentioning, like 7 cents, even at 7 cents, I mean, that's not too shabby, especially with what I put into Luna Classic, especially with what a lot of you guys put in Luna Classic and so on. So I'm not really sweating it. But I understand that some people want to react on like, here's what's going on in the market with this particular play. And, you got to bounce around some things. Everybody has different reasons for what they got to do. And, I don't hold people, I don't hold that against anybody. All right. I want to welcome Baby G. Hi, Max. Hope you're feeling better today. Well, thank you, Baby G. I appreciate that. I'm trying my best to. It's just sometimes real life can mess you up, to say the least. But I'm okay. I'm not going to have some breakdown on the show or anything like that. So, all right. So we need to go ahead and kick it into the show because we're approaching the 15-minute mark. We're going to start things off with Jasmine. And basically, that is the Friday surprise to a sense. It's Jasmine. If I get into all the other topics, it will be like WrestleMania. I do want to watch Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals tonight. Jimmy buckets, to say the least. Butler's balling out of control. If you're an NBA fan, watch some Jimmy Butler. He puts on a show. So I'm looking forward to that, and I definitely want to see at least the second half and so on. So let's start things off with Jasmine, and smash that like if you haven't done so already. Let's see if we can tick up to maybe 40s, 50s, and so on. I understand there's some other shows going on, especially when it comes to the D-Gen stuff, but that's okay. Just appreciate everybody who's currently here. I know that we had some problems all week long when it comes to, like especially with Larry with his internet and so on. And I don't hold it against him. I understand that it can be frustrating. All right, so let's see how we're doing on the likes. We're currently at, where are we at? 22 likes, 24 likes. We have close to 40 people. So if we could smash that, it's free. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. So let's try to do that if you guys don't mind. So yeah, let's go ahead and kick it into what we have. I'm going to go ahead and pull a couple banners off, and I want you guys to see this first because it's going to tie in why all this makes sense. I'm going to fast forward to a particular part. So give me just a second to do just that. And I'm going to pull off this one too. All right, so let's get into this right quick. I think I have it primed and ready to go. All right, so if you've been following Jasmy, understand DFFT, data free flow with trust. Give me just a moment. I'm going to fast forward this. Here we go.
The final preparations for the G7 summit get
the government ministry. This concept originated from Japan in 2019. Since then, it has been slowly taking shape, being discussed at subsequent summits. I talked to Japan's digital transformation minister, Kono Taro. He has been advocating for a framework to actually have an office for data regulation up and running. Kono says it will take too much time if the framework tried to agree on a single set of rules for data flow. So Japan is taking a more realistic approach.
We would like to create an international database on data regulations, and we would like to update. We would like to continue to update. So if you wanted to do business in Japan, Europe, or anywhere on this planet, if you could go into this database, you can find out exactly what you have to do, where you're going. So that's one step forward for global data convergence.
Kono says another project for the framework is testing the new software that converts personal data into an anonymous form for privacy purposes. If the framework can verify the software's effectiveness, companies can safely use it to utilize personal data.
So you're going to do all these projects on, creating a database and testing the softwares to ensure privacy and security of data. So what is the ultimate goal of this institution?
The G7 is trying to set up this international framework, but we would like to open up to the like-minded countries and even for the global south.
So first agreement among G7 countries. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's difficult? I mean, we hear that there are very different views on cross-border data flows, even among the G7 countries.
Sure. Different views, but everyone thinks we have to do something to ensure the data free flow because data is the sort of core for the economic growth now.
What kind of results and by when do you expect this institution to produce so that people will see this as an effective institution?
Well, if we could get the endorsement from the leadership this year, I think we can start establishing international framework next year. And then once it's up and running, we would do all those concrete projects. We would like to start out small. And we wanted to build a success. So, we don't want to start big and not doing well. Or we would like to start out very small and keep success on top of each other.
So if this framework on international free flow of trusted data actually starts working, it could be a game changer for global economic growth. But to make it work, governments will have to move quickly and flexibly as the world of technology is moving fast.
Okay, so we're going to get into why that matters so much in that interview. But before we do so, I want to just kind of keep up with the flow. I actually have a little timer that's going to help me with that. So I'm going to get into the next bit of the comments, and then we're going to jump back into this outline. But it should give you a lot more of a, I guess you could say, that intro is going to give you an idea of where we're going with this. So just try to remember that in your head. Data free flow with trust. It's literally on the surface, the framework that we've all been wanting, right, to get the ball really in motion. All right, so I'm going to put a few more banners back on and get back into the comments. Give me just a second. So I see a few more people connected. That's very cool. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Stardog says, it's like Luna Classic is run like socialism. Nothing gets done and nothing can get done. That's too bad. That is too bad. Crypto Homes 777. Hello, everyone. Glad to have you here. Crypto Homes 777. Let's see where we're at. Let's go. I mean, yeah, man. I mean, they're the 8th seed. I mean, that's my thing. I got to admit, like, I'm rooting for, the Lakers to win the Western Conference, not because I'm a Laker fan, I'm not a Laker fan, but, I'm a big LeBron James fan. But it'd be pretty cool to see, like, the number 7th seed from the West versus number 8 seed. Am I aware that, the Lakers are probably, they're going to have an uphill battle and they might not make it because Denver is nothing to play around with? Yeah, I'm fully aware of that. But you got to admit, as far as like being a, the finals of the underdogs, that would be pretty cool. All right. GT says, Max, did you see Filecoin is now a target by the SEC? Yeah, the last time I was on the show, that was the first thing I reported on. But I'm not panicking over it. I think Filecoin will still be fine, but I understand some people are going to get out of it as quickly as they can, and those things happen. My Spurs dynasty. Yep. All right. You should probably buy more XLM. Everybody should buy more XLM, right? Not financial advice, but let's face it, that's what's going on with that. Let me start this timer real quick. All right. Cash says he bought some more Jasmine. Yeah, I bought 2 more bags of Jasmine based off of the information I'm going to show you guys tonight. That's just what I'm personally doing. Nobody else has to do that, but stick around. All right. Rodney, as in my crypto journey, dropped a fire video about what's wrong with Volt. Interesting. All right. Crypto Homes 777. Ahmed working on increasing his veracity to 1 million. Cool, man. Mike says, Max, sending prayers your way. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. And the same back to you, especially with what you're going through. Appreciate that. All right. I'm going to read maybe a couple more comments and then kick it back to what we have. I want to read this, and I'm going to read another one from Stargazer. Rafael Santos says, good day, Sir Max. Hope you're doing good. Stay safe. Always praying for you. Good health. Thank you so much, Sir Max. You're very welcome. And same with you, man. Stargazer says, happy caddy crypto. Yeah, we want, I wonder what happened to him. I mean, like, here's the thing. If you stop watching certain videos, for instance, like Luna Classic, even if you have the bell notification on, it won't do that. I guess this is part of the whole YouTube algorithm type thing. So I wonder what was going on with him. But you're stating happy caddy crypto as a gym, does YouTube videos too. He's surprised you're holding Luna Classic and don't know of HCC. There's a lot I need to catch up with when it comes to Luna Classic, to be honest. I used to follow it very closely, and it's just, my thing was, like some people say to us, how come you guys don't cover Luna Classic anymore? And my thing is, the reason for it is there's a lot of people covering Luna Classic still, like there's 2-Bit and, there's a few others and so on. And the way I look at it, that's just like, crypto, supply and demand. It's not going to make sense for me to put so much emphasis on covering Luna Classic when there's other guys that are probably going to do it a lot better of a job than I could when it comes to doing that. And that's okay. But I do need to catch up on some of the recent things. I will admit to that. And that's okay. There's only so much time in a day. And I probably should keep more up to date on Luna Classic. because I hold about $4,400 worth of Luna Classic. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm not really sweating it. My thing when it comes to Luna Classic is not this market that we're in. And basically speaking, I think going into the future with Luna Classic, I said it before, it's the ecosystem. They need to get the ecosystem back. All right. Thank you for all the people who are here tonight. 55 wonderful, beautiful people, as Larry would say. Smash a like if you haven't done so already. Appreciate you guys. Fred Chicken says, nice. Welcome, Fred. Consider changing your avatar to maybe some fried chicken with a guy named Fred holding a drumstick or something. But glad to have you here tonight. We have a very welcoming community. Any questions or comments you have, feel free to drop it. Aquaman says, hey, Max, stay strong, brother. Well, thanks, man. I do appreciate that. My thing is just, I don't know, man. When you see people starting to just go away like in the wind, it kind of messes you up for a bit. So, you know, it's a cycle of life, I guess you could say. All right. Jasmine will include AI in their projects. Yes, that's part of the roadmap, and we're going to get into some of that specifically here in a bit. In fact, we're going to go ahead and kick it right back into it right now. So here we go. All right. So let me just double check the other screen, make sure I didn't miss anything. I didn't. That's good. Let's jump back into what we have for this Jasmine coverage. So if you hold Jasmine, smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Let's jump into what we have for Jasmine. So as you guys have seen in that video clip, remember where it showed some key highlights, how it scans an area, right? Literally, these are the Internet of Things that has been referred to when it comes to the smart cities and the Jasmine connection to that. This outline we're having for you tonight ties everything in to not only Sony, but you're going to see some actual true verification of Sony that you may think was just speculative before. I'm telling you flat out, it's no longer speculative. I have some proof, but you got to stick around, all right, to see the outline. All right. So let's jump into this from Crypto Twitter. And this is a shout out to this particular news publication, right, called Manichi. Here's the interpretation. So you guys saw that video clip, right? Made recent news, I believe, as in yesterday or the day before. You got to keep in mind, Japan is like a day behind us. So let me see if I'm even in the frame. I'm not. My bad. So Taro Kono talks about AI strategy. Remember you just asked about AI in regards to Jasmine? So it's a framework for free data distribution starting next fiscal year. Digital Minister Taro Kono said in an interview with the Mainichi Shinbun, quote, we need to launch and start working on DFFT, which stands for Data Free Flow with Trust, as early as next fiscal year. Now, to give you guys an idea of who this guy is, all right, he's a big player. He's Japan's digital minister, okay? There was also a recent interview. I mean, this guy's really active. He's all over the place. He was recently in Washington, D.C. last, was it February, March. He's got this recent interview as of yesterday. Japan considering joining India's UPI payment system, says Japanese Minister Konotaro. He's 60 years old. He's been serving as the Minister of Digital Affairs of Japan since August of 2022. And I understand where some of you guys maybe feel about this. You know, dang it, Max. This guy is a digital affairs of Japan guy. He does not represent Jasmine. Stop giving me this stuff. You sound like the typical guy out there. It's just all about speculation. I promise you, this will all make sense here in a bit, but you got to be willing to stick around to understand why it matters so much. Okay. So there's this quote, and I'm going to get into it just in here in a bit. And basically speaking, I want to show you guys this. All right. And this comes from, let me blow this up for a second. Oops, pressed the wrong button. This comes from ft.com. And basically speaking, it says, and I went down to the key areas. All right. I don't want to read a whole huge article for you guys, but it says, according to people familiar with the document, the draft of the, the G Nation's intention to operationalize the concept of DFFT with a view to gain more widespread support for the principle and greater convergence between existing regulatory approaches, Japan's attempt to take leadership role on this issue of data flow coincides with a period in which the country is struggling to secure a reputation on all things digital. Now, in a nutshell, you got to keep in mind from 2018, especially before the pandemic happened, Japan was probably the #1 country in the world that was pro-cash, as in pro-fiat, all the way. Things changed, obviously, because of COVID, all right? So, it says Kono, an experienced former foreign minister and leadership challenger, became Japan's Minister for Digital Affairs in August 2022. He inherited with enthusiasm a project to drag Japan's paper-based bureaucracy into the digital age, but has continued to encounter powerful, resistance. At the end of the day, I mean, if you have anything that's disruptive to the old system, some people are going to come out of the woodwork and they're going to fight you to the nail about things, right? So it says the mismatch between Japan's economic strength and its digital prowess can be striking, as former Minister Kono was used to making offers of assistance to his counterparts from around the world. He says, I would tell them, in this quote, if there was anything Japan can do, we are happy to give you assistance. But ever since I became a digital minister, is my counterpart offering anything they can do to help Japan's digitalization? Everyone knows we are lagging behind, he says. But in reality, they're not lagging behind. The rest of the world is lagging behind. So I want to show you guys this. And this is something else that you've never probably ever seen before. And that's okay. All right. I want to show you guys this. This is something that was reported from basically August of 2022. You may be thinking, oh God, you're one of those type of people. You're going to give me old news. It's going to tie everything in. And that's why at the end of the day, you need to pay attention when it comes to this, especially if you're a Jasmy holder. So shout out to this guy's name is Jasmy India. He says full KYC performed on Jasmy. Please go through it. Will not perform KYC again on Jasmy. It's all clear. Jasmy is going to be one of the best performers in cryptocurrency market. Now my target is to add 10 LAKH Jazz. Hold the life dear. This is Jasmy, the Bitcoin in Japan. Let's jump into this for a bit. So there's this guy. I'm not going to put a ton of emphasis on him and so on, but his name is J.M. Sakat Akbar. He's the founder and chairman of BJIT Group. And as we know, BJIT Group is an information communications and ICT company that provides software development and information technology service. You go to the next page, part of this KYC, believe it or not, is Kazumasu Sato. Now, going further, do not forget the name Kazumasu Sato, okay? This is going to be one of the biggest key things of the outline that we have tonight, okay? So just try to remember, or just remember Sato or Sato-san, okay? So in regards to him, like it shows, he is the executive chairman of BJIT. He, of course, is obviously located in Tokyo, Japan. We go more further into this. BJIT Group was founded on April 1st, 2004. They're still active as far as operating. They are a for-profit company. There's a phone number listed, but just to give you an idea of who they are and what they're about, the BJIT Group is an information communications ICT company that provides software development and information technology service. It also provides services such as application development, AI deep learning, Internet of Things, and embedded engineering enterprise solutions, software testing, and global education. They were founded in 2004. They're also headquartered in Japan, Tokyo, Japan. As we get further into this, in regards to this KYC, the group of BJIT has 7 current employee profiles. You have Mr. Sato, you have a few of these other guys, right? But one key guy that I want you guys to draw your emphasis to is Yasuhiro Akashi. Now, as we know, Akashi is a subsidiary of Sony, right? That's pretty big in itself. He's vice president and COO of BJIT Group, okay? Now, I'm going to take a pause, and I'm going to get into this next part of tying all this in, but I'm trying to keep up with the flow with the comments, so I'm not like an hour behind. All right, so just bear with me. All right, so let me double check the other screen, make sure I didn't miss anything. Looks like we're good. And I want to welcome Wayne Side. He says, team, what's up? Surf's up, dudes. Well, welcome back, Mr. Wayne Side. And see, I'm not too far behind the comments, so I guess I'm doing pretty good with this. I'm going to reset my timer. Start it right now. There we go. All right, Jeremy Kincaid says he's just subscribed because you were covering Jasmine. Oh, well, thank you. But stick around for this. And also, we got a video coming out later on tonight in regards to Jasmine. You're not going to want to miss that. April Cornwell says, hey. But Jeremy, welcome, and thank you very, very much for your subscription and so on. I do appreciate you and appreciate the subscription. Hope to see more of you. April says, hey. Cool. Let me see. You got a new profile picture. Ah, looks cool, April. Cool stuff. All right. Let me go back up to where I was at because a whole wave of comments came in. And if I don't do it, I'm going to lose my spot. All right. Yeah, you're very welcome. And hold on. Cool Cat says the Nuggets will take it all this year. It's looking that way, but I'm not rooting for them, you know. Not rooting for them. Although I am a fan of I do like the Joker, right? Jokic. And I do think Jamal Murray can ball it out like crazy. I mean, very underrated player. I mean, that guy can ball, man. Big time. All right. The Aussie Life says he's begging more XLM and Jasmine. Cool. And welcome. Glad to have you here. I do remember you from Crypto Twitter. Thanks for joining us here on the live. Really appreciate it, man. All right. KK, welcome. Glad to have you here. Cody Core, an OG of OGs, is here. Tim Shea says, thank you for being here, Cody. GS is in the house. You got XRP, but no XLM. Oh, man. XLM is like dirt cheap, man. Like right around 8 cents. Howdy. Glad to have you here. Maxim Max, yes. Back at you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot, guys. It really does. All right. H-bar will rule them all. Yeah, we did some recent coverage in regards to H-bar. Mine crypto. Oh, I cover Wrapped Luna Classic. It's a minefield. I imagine with Wrapped Luna Classic, it would be a minefield, especially with everybody got stiffed, to say the least, on Coinbase. Big Watch Dude. What's up, Max and CTN fam? Glad to have you here, Mr. Watch Dude. All right. Don't worry, Mr. Watch Dude. I will not put you to sleep, my friend. All right. Elon Muff says, I still hold a decent amount of Wrapped Luna. Don't call it classic because it's not, since it violates a mutable contract. Yeah. Why doesn't Brian Armstrong still, he never wants to, I don't think he'll ever officially do like a thing addressing it. It's just like, I guess probably because his lawyer doesn't want him to mention anything about that for legal reasons. But it's a definitely, in my opinion, you're right. It's a violation of that smart contract. All right. Stardock says, oh, I know that YouTuber just seen anyone call him HCC before. However, I'm not consumed by his product as I don't like it. Okay. Interesting. Read a couple more comments. Smash a like if you haven't done so already. Maybe we could tick up this in the 60s. It would be pretty cool. Give it up, Max. I definitely will here in a bit. Let me see. Ahmed. Damn, guys, 55 chatters and only 5 likes. Don't make me whip out my belt. 5 likes. There's more than 5 likes. All right. BitBoy knows about BSV. He just isn't telling his followers. I did see that whole thing about Ben. You know, he said he wouldn't, like, he was going to hold on to it, like, for how many years or something like that, and he ended up dumping it. I don't know. BitBoy hates XLM, so I just like BitBoy. Or Buttboy. Buttboy. Oh, God. Then you said BitBoy. I know what you meant. It's all right. All right. I want to welcome Ronbo and Mega. True. No organization owns XRP. None. They don't need XRP to transfer money. Only people buying XRP is retail investors. Fact. Is this true? Yeah. But here's the thing. Their focus is on institutional money and never been on retail. So it's kind of like you can't have your cake and eat it too. But, you know, it's one of those things. All right. I want to see if we're at, I think on my timer, I got like 30 seconds. I'm just trying to keep up with the flow. I like the idea I have this timer thing going on. Rombo Omega says, all I'm saying is banks use Ripple's ODL on-demand liquidity. They have no need of owning XRP. Note the FSB and Bank of International Settlements are talking of GSC. If XRP is reclassified as a GSC, then the price will moon, but it's not a guarantee. Okay. All right. So I am going to kick it back into our outline of what we have for Jasmine. Thank you for everybody who's patient in regards to the back and forth with the comments. Let's jump into what we have in regards to Jasmine. And if you missed anything, there will be a recorded video, not in this format, but into the studio. The studio, as you see behind me. And it will have more details without, the live comments and so on. All right. So that, again, you got to give a chance for that to be uploaded. It'll be uploaded later tonight. And it might appear slightly past, I don't know, midnight, for instance, Pacific Standard Time, like midnight and so on. All right. So I'm going to jump into this. And I showed you guys a little information, which was cool. All right. So let me show you guys just a tad bit more of what we have. Okay. Here we go. So we talked about, for instance, this guy who is referred to as Yasuhiro Akashi. And on this one, I'll blow it up a little bit more for you to see it a little bit better. Okay. All right. There we go. Yeah, that's nice and big. Okay, so this guy, Executive Vice President and COO Yasuhiro Akashi. It states that he worked as a buyer at the PC mass retailer T-Zone. Now think about this for a moment, right? When we talk about Jasmine and personal data lockers, or we talk about Jasmine when it comes to, the Jasmine smart PC, right? Or secure PCs, right? Especially not smart PC. Well, keep in mind, this guy has probably more experience than anybody when it comes to understanding that market. So wanted to point that out, right? Because he worked at mass retailer T-Zone and became a director of Love Roscoe Ltd. In 2003 after being involved in the founding of management of venture company in 2004. He served as an executive officer of, listen to this, Robot Payment Co. Understand this, when it comes to WITS and so on, or as they would pronounce it, VITS, there's a whole thing of the digital twins, with the robotics and so on. So this guy, he totally gets it when it comes to robotics, the Internet of Things. It's just that is part of IoT, the Internet of Things. In 2011, he became director of BJIT, and also in 2014 and 2018, he was appointed president CEO of BJIT, and is currently the executive vice president and COO of BJIT. A director of BJIT Limited in Bangladesh, and the director, of course, also in the United States field of BJIT. In 2021, he became president and representative director of Global Geeks Co. He's a member of the National Support Committee for Bangladesh IT Human Resource Development Project of the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, a member of the Nagano IT Collaboration Platform Committee. Now, why is that important? Well, with Nagano, you have, for instance, the top dog of Jasmine, who was a former CEO with Sony, is currently what, guys? He's currently like the dean or president of the Nagano, was it the University of Nagano, right? So you have all of these particular connections, right? And I forgot to share the tab on that. But anyway, there is what you have in regards to that. That's big stuff. Now, what I want to jump back to is a little bit more of what we have, but in particularly, I want to show you guys this, and that is this next point of what we have, and that is this right here. And this part actually wasn't included on the recorded, but that's okay. So what is the basis for 2022 being the first year of crypto assets? Japanese expert talks the real value of cryptocurrencies. This is a while back, but nonetheless, I like this part where it says, for instance, where they talk to Kazumasu Sato, right, of Jasmine / Sony, BitPoint, all this and so on. It says, for instance, this chairman of Bitpoint Japan, a crypto asset exchange, became a hot topic with big boss Tayoshi Shinjo as ambassador and Kazumasa Sato as the president of Jasmy, who issued the crypto Jasmy coin. I'm going to blow this up for a bit. It says specifically, we started Bitpoint 6 years ago on March 2016. At the time, the price of Bitcoin was only 50,000 yen, which was about 433 bucks, and Ethereum was only about $4.32. As of February 2022, Bitcoin, the price of coins has been around 5 million yen. The market size for entire crypto asset altcoins grew, as we know. But, it gives you guys like some background in regards to this. It says, in regards to this boom, in regards to Bitcoin and all this. So the main reason why I'm showing you guys this is because, like it says, the boom didn't last long. The January 2018 of an illegal outflow of virtual currency sparked a panic in Japanese society. The perception that cryptocurrency is dangerous spread all at once, and people's interest and confidence were rapidly lost. You got to keep in mind what happened, basically speaking, where you saw Jasmy tank in value. Some people, of course, are blaming on what you see here, but in reality, it was because of the supply at the time of Jasmy, how many coins were in circulation, and of course, what happened on that particular release. What's so significant of where we're at now with Jasmy is that, you have close to 100%, right? Like 95% of Jasmy in all circulation. Combine that with, we're going to have a 70% lockup. It might not happen all at once, but you got to keep in mind, this is where some of the criticism was. It's like, well, man, that looks like a rug. In reality, it's not a rug pull, but you got to keep in mind, if you compare it to, for instance, like with XRP, it's the same type of situation. It's a little bit different. There's a few key things that happen in regards to Japan. There's another key thing that happened, of course, when it comes to just that, the supply. Now, what I want to show you on this next particular one is, and this is the juicy stuff. So on this, I'm going to jump back to the comments for just a brief moment, and then I'm going to jump back to this. This is the key thing that you want to stick around for all the juicy stuff, to say the least. So we're going to get into all that. And if anything, I'm going to read a few more comments. So Ahmed says, Rondo institutional money did not enter yet. Michael Montclair says his goal is 100,000 Jasmy. Very, very cool. I added a couple more bags, to say the least. I'm not going to, I don't want it to be like as Brian would say, like a pissing contest, because it's not about that. But after I found this information, this research, I was blown away with my findings, and I said to myself, you know what? We'll all remember these prices for Jasmy. And, I feel as though we're in an accumulation phase. Why would I want to load up more when it comes to this at these particular prices and so on? So, the way I look at the whole thing with Binance, I'm just going to look at it like it's a blessing in disguise, because I may never see this at 0.004 and some change ever again. All right. Big Wash 2 says, LOL Max, I was just trying to yank your chain. Love your short stories. Okay. Well, thank you. I'm gonna try to do a little bit better job of like watching it, because I don't, we worked up a lot to get to where we're at, and I don't want people like, hey man, I come here for crypto and stuff. So I do want to try to respect that, but thank you. Crypto Puppet says, Michael Montclair, nice. I stopped at 500,000. That's nice. See, I'm not quite at, or actually, hold on. I am at that. Okay, I forgot about that. I am technically now at that. So it's some change, but yeah, my goal is 1 million, and it's gonna take some time to get there, but that's my goal. All right. Stardock says, Max's stories make the show even more entertaining. Please don't change your stuff. Well, thanks. I'm trying to like not make it so long, I guess you could say, but thank you, Stardock. All I buy is BSV and Cosmos. Now, Cosmos, I agree with you on 100% on that one. Cosmos is very good. BSV, you obviously got me sold on BSV, not financial advice, but in reality, what can anybody say? If somebody's going to go to a lawyer and say, you know what, I'm going to sue this guy. Okay, well, I represent the law offices of Clayton and McGill. Okay. So who's the guy we need to sue? He gave you financial advice? Yes, he absolutely gave me financial advice. All right. Well, tell me, can you describe what this guy looks like? Well, he's kind of furry. Oh, he's got like a lot of hair on his back. You must be referring to Crypto Hulk. No, I'm not referring to Crypto Hulk. Oh, okay. Well, then who are you referring to? Well, this guy, he goes by the name of Cool Cat Crypto. Well, what's his real name? I have no idea. He claims that he lives in San Antonio. That's all I know. That's all you got? Yeah, he never had. Cool Cat Crypto never has to worry about any of that stuff. So, I mean, you might as well go start a meme token and not dox yourself, right? Anyway. Michael Montclair says, yeah, Max, but XRP has no paper behind them, meaning that no high powers can manipulate or control them. Rare. Yeah, I get all that. But my thing is, you're talking about in regards to a ledger. Yeah, I mean, my thing is, we got to have a good place to put our crypto. And if there's going to be any problems, then people are going to recognize those problems and they're going to jump ship. If we have the saying of, don't marry your crypto. Well, how about this? Don't marry your ledger. You know what I mean? And people are already doing that. You better believe that costs ledger a lot of money. I'm sure they probably already have the official announcement. I got to catch up on it. But, you cannot do an update that is a drastic change to shove it down people's throats because they're not going to go for it. How did Jasmine go from 5 to 0.0? A combination of a few factors, obviously, heavy regulation in Japan, but I would say the biggest factor was simply because of constantly putting more and more of that supply out there. Getting to the point where we had a little bit of delusion, delusion, and then becoming fully diluted, and having this current supply close to that, and so on. Those are all factors. The crypto winter didn't help it, and so on. But yeah, on the surface, if somebody looked at it, they'd be like, "Oh, this is a rug pull. I don't want to look at it anymore." To me, there's so much more to Jasmine than that chart. Just like there's so much more to XRP than the chart. There's so much more when it comes to a lot of these charts. TARP looks like a Japanese version of Powell. Taro. Oh, I see what you're saying. A little bit. I think he's good for this path forward when it comes to regulatory framework. All right. Crypto Puppet says, now's the time to load up on Jasmine, no doubt. Read like 3 more comments and we'll kick it back into the outline. Aussie Life Binance done. Jasmine's solid if you ask me, Max. That's the way I look at it too. And only that, I mean, Jasmine's so much more than just Binance. A lot of people are just like Binance or forget it. If we lose Binance, they're done. People are going to do that. And it may affect the price even that much more. And I'll just look at it as more of an opportunity. And people could choose to not agree with me on that, and that's okay. I mean, there's some cryptocurrencies I still don't own that I do believe in. Like for instance, I need to get some IOTA, right? I need to get some, internet computer, right? ICP. There's some other ones and so on that I need to accumulate, right? But I haven't got them yet. But there might be in the future some ones I get out of. Haven't got to that point yet. But everyone's going to do their own thing. KK says, right, Max, Jasmine at these prices is a gift. It really is. It really is. Big Watch Deal, you don't have to change, Max. You'll be you, CTN. Yeah, I understand. But, in reality, like, if you look at, like, oh, man, I don't recommend doing this. You're going to laugh. But if you saw, like, the early stages of the show, like when I first came here and so on, like, it's kind of like we're talking about basketball, right? I mean, if you play basketball every single day of your license, your kid to like, some of these guys are in the NBA. I mean, you can obviously get better. I mean, for me, I'm not comparing myself to basketball players, but what I'm saying is with practice, with anything, you're going to get better. And so I look back in those days and it's just like, like the format and so on, like we definitely have come a long way. And, I want us to continuously grow. And I got to have the right balance. I can't just be like, hey guys, let's listen to me for half an hour, ramble on about, almost getting killed out in the intersection, stuff like that. So, but I do appreciate it. Yeah. Jimmy McGill. I love that show. Better Call Saul. But it wasn't as good as Breaking Bad, but it was pretty good. And I still wish they would do like some other like Breaking Bad universe of characters, but they stay there. They wouldn't. So, all right, guys, we're going to kick it back into the outline. Let's go ahead and do that right now. So let's jump into this. This is the real juicy stuff, okay? I mean, I really, really mean this. This is the real good juicy stuff. All right. So let's go ahead and share this. All right. So I think I got this blown up. Yes, I do. All right. So it says, did you know that Sony has their own bank? I didn't. Here's the reference, moneykit.net/yen. I already verified all this stuff before I came on the show. I wasn't going to do it like make myself look like an idiot or something. So you can verify this for yourself. You can go over to what you're going to see right here. All right. Yeah, Sony has its own bank. It says take your bank with you, seamless payments inside and outside Japan, multiple currencies all in one card, and English online banking on the go. They have notifications. As you can see, a lot of this stuff is pretty recent, May 12th, for instance, right? Latest notice, right? So you can all, you could definitely verify this for yourself. All right, let's jump back to the next part. Did you know that Sony has their own insurance company? I didn't. I wasn't aware of that. Some of you guys may be aware of it. Some of you aren't. Here's the verification. Sony Life Insurance Business, company name. That you see right here. Established originally August 10th, 1979, right? Sony Life Communications Co. Limited, established, I guess this is another particular office, right? But anyway, it's all there. And then they also have a Japanese site, sonylifecom.co.jp. Again, you can verify all this stuff for yourself, right? Pretty cool stuff right there. Sorry, I meant to be on that tab. There it is. Let's jump back. All right, how about this one? Did you know that Sony has their own payment system? I didn't, right? We're always talking about Ripple's XRP and so on. What about Sony? And you may be still thinking, Max, I'm sick of this. I am so sick of this. I'm tired of you doing this. This is all speculative. It's just all speculative. This is Sony, Max. This is Sony. Doesn't say anything about Jasmine. I hear you. We're going to get to the part where you're going to have all this answered and it's not going to be speculative. And you'll be like, now I understand why you did it this way. Yes. Just got to wait for it. As the saying goes, patience is a virtue. All right. So did you know that they have their own payment system? I didn't. When I think of Sony, I'll be honest, I think of like my Sony home stereo. I think of, my, like a system, a car system. I think of obviously Sony PlayStation, some other products, right? My Sony Walkman back in the day, right? We're all walking around with our Walkman, let my tape rock till my tape pop, right? Yeah. All right. So let's jump into this. So here's the one for Sony Payments. This comes from Crunchbase. Sony Payment Service is a credit card settlement business and other settlement service. Apparently, I don't know if this represents how many, employees, but basically it says 154,880. It's in Tokyo, Japan. The site is sonypaymentservices.jp. You can verify it more if you want. Let's jump back to what we have on the outline. Check this out. Did you know that Sony has people at the mega banks? It says, for example, one of their former presidents now runs Sony Financial. Did you know that the same bank, listen to this, guys, owns 24% of Morgan Stanley? Now check this out. All right. I did take a more of a deeper dive into this. All right. So I didn't get verification in regards to if they really own part of 24% of Morgan Stanley. You guys can nerd it out more in that regard if you choose to do so. However, as you can see right here, Sony Financial Group, founded on the 1st of April 2004 as Sony Financial Holdings Inc., is a Japanese holding company for Sony Financial Services business and headquartered in Tokyo, Japan. They have total assets that equate to 14.5 trillion JPY. Now you're like, oh, I don't know what that means. I live in the UK. We deal with pounds, for instance, Stardog, or, most of us that in the United States that watch our program here for Crypto Talk Now, right? So I'm with you. I looked into it. So I did this converter, all right? Japanese yen to US dollars based on current market conditions. And then I went to, my full precision calculator. I use this for school sometimes because kids like to see all the numbers, right? They don't want to see how it is on the calculator. They have a hard time understanding that. So, even high schoolers, like I have to do it this way. All right. So here's this. So here's what it equates in American dollars, right? They are worth 105 billion 99,117,500 bucks. That is nothing to bat an eye at. That's basically 1/10 of a trillion. Okay. Are you still with me? That's a lot, right? All right. So a little bit more in regards to this. Okay. So it states, on top of that, let me jump back into this. Sumitomo, if I pronounce that right, Mitsui Banking Corporation is the bank they are associated with on their website, which holds about 2.18 trillion AUM. They are also the only crypto which is backed by the FSA, which is like the SEC for Japan. Seems to be very hard to secure one of these licenses. Now that got, for instance, this particular person excited. What in the world was Sony planning with this? It's an IoT crypto, Internet of Things crypto. Now, this is some of the juicy stuff. But if you look into one of the founders' patents that is related to Sony, it seems to be implants that can monetize humans. They even own the patents for it. Now, if you're still with me on this, and this is the juicy stuff, we're going to jump into this because this will defeat all speculation and give you some real confirmations of, oh, wow, this might be the biggest deep dive I've ever done for Jasmine. Smash a like if you know this already, and we're going to kick it back to the comments. You may be saying, oh, no, I just want you to get into this. Well, I'm trying to keep up with the flow. So we're going to get into this patent verification, and man, I'm telling you flat out, it's the juicy stuff. It really, really is. All right. Cody Core says Maximum Max is the furriest furry there is. I never wore a furry outfit, but yeah. We all know Triple C is a male, nothing else. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Muff says like a damn Bigfoot almost doesn't exist. Token inflation augment. Am I? It seems like you were. What's up to everyone? I'm working as a type. Sorry guys. No, it's all right. It's all right. No problem. Larry Davis says good show. Thank you, Larry Davis. Consider change your avatar. Something speaks more about who you are and what you're about, but glad to have you here. Cool Cat says that Hulk was way more hair than a cat. Muff states, did regulation really do it? I mean, watch the market cap. When Jasmine was 5, market cap was like 1 million. Well, I'm just saying, I understand that, but people have pointed it out. And I did mention a little bit what you're talking about too. Not in those exact words, but yes. Yeah, but why not own both? That's the way I look at it. Those are two I'm looking to acquire at some point. All right. Webull is about to delist Stellar XLM, supposedly. Not sure if it's true or not. That'd be pretty lame if they did that. Shot the juice, Max. Larry literally calls his internet provider live on air to fix his internet so we can handle a little story from Max. Oh, okay. I guess that's a good point. Salamander, welcome. Glad to have you here. Salamander, the XDC commander, and also Jasmine Commissioner. All right. Is 2-bit sick? Oh, I hope he's not sick. I hope he gets well if he's sick. Ferris, not to be confused with Ferris Bueller. Hey, Max, any updates about Quant? Yes, that's something I have to catch up on. So over the weekend when Larry will be back, I'm going to try to figure out what's going on with his internet and so on. He might have to use something different than StreamYard for when he comes on. So before, like he would mention, I want to do StreamYard before we have guests, but I keep telling him like, well, at this point right now for you and your show, you're never really having any guests anyway. So let's just try to find you something that's just going to work and go from there. And then try to get confirmation that it really is StreamYard. Because I mean, if he uses a different one, like for instance, OBS, and it still does it, then we'll basically, have confirmation that it's absolutely 110%, P-Hub all the way. And, he just needs to stop being on the P-Hub. But, I'm kidding. You guys always give him crap about that. Anyway. But yeah, I have a lot about Quant. I'm like, I'll put it this way. Quant Papa, he's like AI, man. He literally sends me a message about Quant and, like what I can share and what I can't share. There's some key things I can't share. I don't know how he has these connections. I don't know if he works for Quant or what, But some of the things I've seen, like for all you guys are calling quant garbage, you know who you are. I'm not gonna mention your name. If you only knew, it is not what you, oh my gosh. So anyway, he sent me some things, and I'm like, can I share this with people? And he's just like, some things I can't. But anyway, I have a backlog of stuff that I need to just take more of a deeper dive into and so on. So yeah, there's quite a few updates. I mean, obviously the latest one that's public is the Bank of England. You saw some of those particular videos. I got to give you guys some more in regards to LAC chain and so on. But yeah, be on the lookout for more quant. It's just that for tonight's coverage, it is mainly focused on Jasmine. So and then normally speaking, when we get back to a normal schedule, we'll go back to the whole traditional approach of how we do the news, and that is everything you see tagged, right? So like here's like 5 or 6 minutes of Q&T, here's a little bit of XRP, XLM, XDC, like how we normally do it, and then back and forth the comments. But for tonight, like it's called Friday Surprise, I thought this was big, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So we're not to the big stuff yet, but we are going to be there in a second. All right, in regards to Ledger, KK says Ledger can be used to add that for the new MiCA regulation. MiCA requires KYC. You would need that on swapping and buying on Ledger. That's a good point. That is definitely a good point. I mean, for those that are thinking about giving up their Ledger and going with something else, I mean, you may run into the same problems with a different particular wallet in the future. But I understand the complaint. All right, one more comment and we'll kick it back to what we have. Dingy says, gave a like because I'm expecting Max to twerk at any moment. Oh, geez. You guys don't want to see that. Trust me. You don't want to see that. There's a reason why you don't see my lower part of my body. Because, basically at the end of the day, I mean, if I do that, it would be like, big booty hoes, jump with it. Don't. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm kidding. All right. Probably get banned for even saying big booty hoes, but yeah. Hold on a second. Steve Rose, when you ask yourself what is it all about, it's about everything connected to each other thing. Yep. You do really miss my quant videos, Mike. Well, you know what? I did a quant video not that long ago. Yeah, I don't know if you saw it. Maybe you did. At the end of the day, it's just like we always have people who, and I don't hold this against anyone. They're like, why don't you? Let me turn on this fan real quick. Why don't you, cover all this stuff you used to cover? It's like, I want to be the guy. Like, for instance, we had some big news for HBAR, so that got covered. If there's some big news for Casper, that would be covered. Just it's a hard balance, especially for the end of the school year. Like we're trying to wrap up, for teaching and so on. Maybe I do more. I don't know, but at the same time, I mean, I gotta have some kind of extra work coming in, more than just part time, because with the summer being off and so on. So I'm not sweating it too much, but yeah, I'll try to do some more quant videos. I'm glad that you guys are missing that. All right, quant will be the king. It really will be. That's just the way I look at it. Great show. Curious about how this ties into. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. Let's get into that. So let's not keep you waiting anymore. Here's the juicy stuff, and then there will be the icing on the cake at the end. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Here it is. And let's get to this part. patents.justia.com/inventor/Kazumasa-Sato. You can go there for yourself. I would recommend you doing that. All right. So let's take you to this page. And if anything, I'm going to show you about roughly 3 to 4 of these key patents and why it matters so much. Okay. So we gave you the whole outline when it comes to Sony, and we understand that's big. But at this point, some people will say, well, this is all speculative. How is this tied into Jasmine? Blah, blah, blah. Right. We're going to get to that. So patents by inventor Kazumasa Sato. Kazumasa Sato has filed for patents to protect the following inventions. This includes patent applications that are pending, as well as patents that have already been granted by the United States Patent and Trademark Office, USPTO. All right, this one called Impedance Measuring Device for Biological Samples and Impedance Measuring system for biological samples. Now, before we get even more into this, I want to state this. Understand, if you've done any of your own research for Jasmy, you will have come to the conclusion, especially if you watch some of our deep dive videos, that this whole topic of Society 5.0 is a real thing when it comes to Japan. Smart cities is a real thing when it comes to Japan. We may not agree with it here in the United States, but when it comes to Japan and other places in like Southeast Asia and so on, these are real things that are really being worked on, that they're very, very serious about. Okay. One of the key things that was mentioned, if you have been paying attention to some of my deep dives, and if you haven't, that's okay too. I'm not going to hate you. We have confirmation on a particular deep dive when it comes to that patent that was filed for Jasmy, and how we got verification that they do in fact use Hyperledger Fabric, right? But when we got more into that deep dive, we also had confirmation that quite a few things were mentioned about biometric data. Okay, so just let that resonate in your head for a second. Biometric data. Now keep in mind what is posted here. Okay, so it says abstract provided as an impedance measuring device for biological samples, including one or a plurality of biological sample holding units configured to hold a biological sample. You're going to hear me say this a lot. An applying unit configured to apply an AC voltage to a pair of electrodes in contact with the biological sample held by the biological sample holding unit, a measuring unit configured to measure an impedance of the biological sample obtained by an AC voltage being applied to the biological sample by the applying unit, and a measuring condition control unit configured to control a measuring time and or measuring frequency in the measuring unit. Now, this was originally a grant. This was filed on March 14, 2018. Data patent was the 13th of October, 2020. Notice it says Sony Corporation, but notice what it also mentions. The inventors, Kazumasa Sato. Interesting. Kazumasa Sato is not only got heavy ties to Sony, but Sony has, for instance, heavy ties to Jasmy, as we know. And on top of that, he's listed as being one of the inventors of this. That's a key thing. Let's get into another particular one. Talks more about, biological samples, kind of like a little bit more of what you just saw. I'm going to get into this other part about, for instance, measuring, right? So let me get into this. All right. Analysis system. All right. Let me show you this real quick, just in case you came late, some of you guys. I'm going to show you guys this. So at the very beginning of the show, let me jump out of this for a second. At the very beginning of the show, we showed you this right here. I'm going to show you the video file again.
The final preparations.
All right. I'm going to fast forward it. There we go. We're going to play this real quick.
Another project for the framework is testing the new software that converts personal data into an anonymous form for
personal data
privacy purposes. If the framework can verify the software's
Look at
effectiveness,
that.
companies can safely use it to utilize personal data.
Companies can safely use it to utilize personal data. Now, let's jump back to what we have over here. Let me show this in a different way. All right. So on this particular one, look what's mentioned here. Talks about this whole thing, a microparticle analysis apparatus and microparticle analysis system. So again, remember what you saw with all those people being highlighted. It says patent number 9915599. Abstract. There is provided a microparticle analysis apparatus, including a sample channel configured to receive liquid containing a plurality of microparticles, a first pair of electrodes configured to form an alternating electric field in at least a part of the sample channel, and measuring part configured to measure impedance between the first pair of electrodes, and analyzing part to configure, calculate property values of the microparticles from the impedance measured, determining part of the configured, so on and so forth. then that I actually should have done this one, but this one, that previous one ties this in. How about this? Information processing device. Here's the patent number. Video playback method, guys, just like what we showed you on that video. Program and video playback system. Abstract. A video playback system includes a video distribution server and at least one information processing device. The video distribution server includes a video distribution portion that performs streaming distribution of video stream, an alternative video distribution portion that distributes an alternative video, and a control information distribution portion that distributes control information. I mean, literally, like, they have to have it where the data is literally being sent to a central server or whoever's at that server or control panel to verify everybody that's being scanned, right, in the smart city and so on. For instance, the video and the control information, a storage portion that stores the alternative video and the control information, kind of like what I basically mentioned. A video stream playback portion and that performs streaming playback of the video stream, an alternative video playback portion that plays back the stored alternative video, and a playback switching control portion, and that based on the stored control information, control switching between the streaming playback and the playback of the alternative video. I know it's a lot of things being mentioned, playback. Look at this. This was filed on October 3rd, 2013, about close to almost 10 years, right? This coming October will be 10 years. Look what's mentioned. Assigning Sony Corporation. Look at who's one of the inventors. Kazumasa Sato. Now, here's one of the other key things. If you go more into this, it talks about other things. And here's some of the more, if that wasn't juicy enough, here's some of the more juicy stuff. All right, let me show you this. So remember earlier you saw or heard, for instance, what's this guy's name again? That guy who's the head guy of the digital minister, right, of Japan. Okay, he mentioned specifically data free flow with trust, right, DFFT. Okay, and why that's so crucial, right? They're trying to, Japan is trying to get everybody on board, the United States, the European Union, and so on, right? And he mentions specifically when it comes to free flow and why that's so important and whatnot, right? Absolutely. I'm going to show you this real quick. If we jump down to here, it mentions that on this particular patent, a cell sorting apparatus includes a flow channel. Remember, he mentioned specifically about a flow channel, right? And how that's key going forward when it comes to personal data. So look at this. Includes a flow channel through which fluid, including cell flows, electric field application section capable of applying electric field having a gradient in a direction different from flowing direction. First position. I mean, again, all this is tied into some of these things about when it comes to smart cities, personal data lockers, that free flow with trust. Like look at this here. The flow channel in accordance with a cell sorting signal requesting an operation to sort the cells. Flow splitting section configured to split the cells, changing their flowing directions. The whole point is, though, he's got patents for all of these different things. Look at this patent date, September 12, 2017. The signee, Sony Corporation. Inventors, he's one of them, Kazumasa Sato. He's tied in heavily to Sony, tied in obviously heavily into Jasmy. I'll show you guys just a couple more. How about this one for a second, right? The contract structure body may be part of a system for determining a characteristic of a sample. The system includes a sample holder for holding a sample. The sample holder includes electrode. The system also includes measuring circuit measuring at least one property of the sample. Again, a little bit more about free flow or flow channels. Sony Corporation. Again, Kazumasa Sato. But Kazumasa Sato is mentioned every single time, over and over again. And you can verify this for yourself. That's one of the key things. Now, there's obviously a lot more, right? That's here. And I would recommend, looking more into it. I want to show you guys this next part. Let me jump back to it. So let me see how I'm doing on the time real quick. 7:20 my time. All right. I want to jump into this because I mean that was juicy in itself. I mean that right there. I mean technically a person be like, I'm good. Shoot, man, I'm good. You know, like you don't need to explain no more, Max. There's about 2 to 3 more things I want to jump into. Okay, so I'm gonna kick it back into the comments, but this next particular one says, then this guy found out they were associated with this thing called. Listen to this, guys. You knew eventually it was going to happen. It's called Line.me, which is like Facebook in the Southeast Asian sector. They partnered with them. They as in Jasmy. If you look through the application, they have a full suite of services which can be monetized with Jasmy and its backing and allows users to sell their data essentially. I'm going to show you the site for Line. I'm going to show you a demo from Jasmy that ties into Line. And I'm going to show you, even on top of that, a lady who literally uses the app, and she's going to explain it in English. Then after that, I'm going to tell you how important this whole thing is in regards to Securitize.io. And there's a one key player that's a partner of Securitize.io that you probably are well invested in. I'm telling you flat out, this was probably the biggest, deepest dive that I found in regards to all this. I mean, I was blown away. All right, I'm going to kick it back into the comments. Hopefully you guys are still around. And let's see here. McQuant, my foot. I saw you the other night bashing Quant, calling ERC20 token garbage, but it's okay. It's all right. Difference of opinion. All right. Boomer F and Sooner says, hey, Mike AB888, Cars and Crypto, welcome. What is up, CTN gang? Glad to have you here. Stevie Rose says the big players hate that Jasmy, aka Japan, will be the first mover in the bull run. That's a good point. That's a good point. Menace, welcome. He says, love your Jasmy content. I've been buying for 11 months, before I bought, I read the white paper and was well aware of their token distribution and probabilities of lower asset values, still buying DCA. Yeah, I mean, you know, so many people focus on the whole thing of like how it looks like it's a rug pull. And by the way, Menace, thank you for, you know, the kind words. We're glad that you love the content, obviously. But, you know, think about how many projects people have just got into where, how about this, like Bitcoin, BTC, right? You know, somebody bought in at 69K. You know, that doesn't mean they bought a full Bitcoin, obviously, at 69K. Some people did. Some rich folks did. They got wrecked. But, you know, people that want to point out some of the bad things about Jasmy are going to point some of these things out, you know, and they're going to say it's a scam and all these types of things. If Jasmy is so much of a scam, oh my God, they're sure going through a lot of trouble through, you know, for instance, the Teams Web3 Summit, right? You know, was it 2 of them? There was one last week that was wrapped up, right? And, you know, I got some footage that, you know, you guys can see obviously on the recorded video, because I just don't want to drag this out too much. And only that, I do want you guys to see the recorded video anyway. But yeah, I mean, there was that particular conference that was last week that was more for the institutional investors for that particular conference. Hara, as well as his homeboy, as I would say, they are over at Teams Web3 Summit. That already wrapped up because they're, you know, let's face it, they're about a day ahead of us. So for something that's a scam, which I obviously don't think it's a scam, they're sure going through a lot of trouble with all this. I mean, you have Sato-san, who went through all the trouble of making all these patents and so on. And, you know, I even have something I'm going to share with you guys a little bit later in regards to some footage, right? I may choose to do that, I may not. Maybe you just watch them recorded, but either way, it's all recorded. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's what I'm doing. I'm buying, I'm DCing, and I'm glad I'm doing it, because the way I look at it is with Jasmy, I mean, I would like to have one that gets me to the promised land, as I would say, maybe before some of the others. You know, I full-heartedly believe in XRP and, you know, XLM, Quantum, you know, even BSV, right? Shout out to you, Cool Cat Crypto. And some of these other ones, right? And, you know, but could the generational wealth happen with one particular country that gets it done before the rest? Yes. And when you see these interviews with this, you know, Prime, was it the, like I can't even think of the guy's name at the top of my head at the moment, but anyway, you know what I'm talking about. We see some of these interviews with him. It's just, what's it, Mr. Taro? You come to the conclusion, it's like, wow, why is this guy making such a big deal about this? And why is he trying to get the United States on board and so on? Because he does represent not only the best interests of Japan, who already has it all together as far as I'm concerned, when they're with how they're embracing crypto and DLT and so on, but he also recognizes that he has partnerships, or not partnerships, but relationships with some other key players of the world. Like he's probably already met with some, like the Denell Dixons of the world, or, the Dr. Lehman Bears of the world and so on, right? And their consistent complaint is, come on, we need to get the United States on board. Europe is already technically on board. Let's get the ball rolling with what you guys have in Japan. Like, lead the charge. Japan is definitely leading the charge. That's just the way I look at it. I think some of you guys recognize that as well. All right. Steve Rose says, because of the government adoption, I'm going to twerk at a boy. No. But you know what? For $1,000 super chat, yes, I'll twerk for 5 minutes straight. And I'll even do it like better than what's his face? Of Hex. I'll even do it better than him, without wasting a bunch of money on a corny looking outfit from Gucci or something. God, ways that guy spends his money on crap. I'm not fudding Hex, but come on. All right. I'll read a couple more comments. The big players hate that Jasmine, aka Japan, will be the first movement. Oh, I already read some of that. Somewhere about that. My bad. It scrolled up. I'll read like 2 more comments. All right. Quote, on top of that, not financial. I do say that a lot, don't I? Steve Rose. Sorry, not Stephen Rose. Look into the patent date and look into who Gilbert Verdin was hanging out with back then. Quant Jasmine connection. Yeah, and I get criticized. What's his name? Crypto Bellwether thinks I'm full of crap when it comes to some of that stuff. Like, what I should have said back was, all right, did you watch the previous video about how we connected the whole thing of Hyperledger Fabric? And then we even saw, right, when it came to the emergency press conference. Remember what Hara mentioned in the press conference? He mentions Hyperledger Fabric. That's why in the recorded video, I went like this. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I've been saying this stuff before everybody else was saying it. I will give myself credit where credit's due. I won't brag. I'm a humble person, but on that one, I did have to do a little dust the shoulder off. But anyway. All right. It'll be the most elaborate scam of all time. I mean, and there's always going to be fudders when it comes to stuff, man. I mean, let's just be honest. Once all the countries go full digital, they will tax the F out of digital currency. That's a good point. All right. Yeah. And then, here's the thing. Elizabeth Warren, right? She's all about like, the only want for is one that, we can track everything, right? Because to make sure everybody pays their taxes. If that's the case, she should read Dingy's comment here, and then she'd be on board. There's just a woman who does not understand crypto, or especially when it comes to DLT or any of this stuff, blockchain and so on. She just doesn't understand. And just because you don't understand something doesn't mean it gives you the right to suppress it and so on. That's just my own key takeaway. I'm going to read this and then I'll kick it back into the outline. Man, I've been screaming all this for a year, and boy, do I catch the hell for buying and holding Jasmine. At the end of the day, when it comes to this, like I only have a few friends that probably believe me when it comes to this, the research and so on. Like, I mean, my personal friends. Everybody wants to listen to somebody when they're already successful. The key thing is the people that are part of you for that journey. Like I think there's like a meme that says basically, if you weren't part of my struggle, don't be there for part of my success. And that's the way I personally look at it. It's like everybody wants to hop on the bandwagon when everything is good, but nobody wants to take the time. I should say nobody. A lot of people don't want to take the time, and they just want to, call things a scam because they don't understand it. Just because a person doesn't understand something doesn't mean it makes it a scam. But, I'm looking at it from the perspective of like, the institutional money, or like, I should say the institutional money, the traditional money. The traditional money states basically, I'm part of traditional finance, and, cryptocurrency is a threat to all that. You know what I mean? And so the way I look at it is, it's like, You did not watch some of the deep dives. I could tell already. So they tackle some of that question. Now, yes, ERC20 on the surface, yeah, that's still going to be a complaint. Check out some of the deep dives in regards to data democratization coin. You'll be enlightened with what you find out in regards to that. But, you know, I'm not trying to sell you on anything, but they are definitely tackling the whole subject because they're looking to build their own blockchain and get out, you know, out from underneath that and so on. The path forward to answer your question, Mr. Cool Cat Crypto, when it comes to Jasmine get around Ethereum gas fees, how exactly is through DFFT, data free flow with trust. 100% is how they get out of it. And they even address it in one of the recent AMAs. But I mean, if you're not following it, it's okay. I don't hold it against you. You're in a lot of other stuff and it's okay. I just told you they're looking to build their own blockchain, and they're going. If you're going to go on just, you know, ERC20 all the way, then you might as well just say, like you said the other day, quant is garbage. Guys, Cool Cat Crypto basically thinks quant is garbage because of ERC20. Quant is not focused on retail, just like some of the other things, right? So it's all right. You know, again, I'm not trying to sell you on it and so on. You're always going to troll me like with some of these questions, and it's all right. You already have the answers, but you'll always be that guy that throws out some of those, you know, things. That's just who you are, and that's okay. You know, but I'm not going to give you the answers. Like you said before, you already have the answers. So what are we doing here? You know what I mean? Okay, I'm going to kick it back into this outline because if I don't, I'm never going to be able to watch the game tonight. And I do want to watch the game tonight. So let's jump into it. Let me use something as a bookmark. Been there, done that. We did a video about it. We already discussed this before. Why are we going in circles? All right. I mean, really. Even when tokenizer, were you here for that? When tokenizer was here for the whole thing? Maybe you weren't. That's all right. And I even did a video about it too. But you already remember, you already have the answers for us. You already mentioned this, my friend. It's all right. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Okay. Let's use that as a bookmark. Let's get into what we have left on this outline. Because like I mentioned, if I don't, we'll be here all night. And I don't want to be here all night. No offense to you guys. All right, so this next particular part is in regards to Line Me. All right, so on this one, I'm going to show you this lady. I'm going to show this first, and then I'm going to show you the demo from Jasmine. All right, so let's go ahead and play this. And I got to make sure I have it shared. All right, here we go.
So what is Line? With over 92 million users, Line is the messenger app in Japan, making it the perfect platform to promote products and services. It has the widest user demographic from teenagers to over 60-year-olds. Even though Line started off as a very simple messenger app, it is now much more than that. It is hugely popular not only in Japan but also in other Asian countries. It is now considered to be a super app with a network of over 100 services. People use it for messaging, gaming, keeping up with the news, shopping, trading NFTs, and much, much more. There are also Line stickers that feature cute characters that can be used in marketing campaigns. You too can reach Line's 92 million users, which is over 70% of the Japanese population. With such powerful market penetration, Line Ads platform offers a variety of services, from classic brand awareness and website traffic campaigns to more unique digital marketing activities like CPF, cost per friend campaigns, which can help you reach new crowd of loyal customers. Line official account is a very unique opportunity for brands to build a loyal fan base and communicate directly with their customers. DMFA, Digital Marketing for Asia, is a part of the SoftBank family and Line's official partner. We offer Line official account and Line Ads platform management services. We have first-hand insights into Line's latest products and services, and you can rely on our knowledge and expertise. Get in touch today and schedule a free consultation with one of our Line experts.
All right, let me show you this next thing. This is going to be the actual demo from Jasmine. So on this one, I got it primed for you guys. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Here it has excuse me, it has some English interpretation, so it's not too bad. All right, here we go. All right, glad to share that with you guys. I'm gonna jump back to what we have for the remaining part, like what I refer to as the icing on the cake. So yeah, I showed you this whole thing in regards to line, and gives you a little brief demo of Jasmy in regards to that. All right, I want to show you guys this, and this will be the last part of the outline. So it says, I would tell you more, but my due diligence led to several entities like Grayscale, Santander, Genesis Trading, Coinbase. Another one that's interesting is securities.io. Sony invested, did you know this, millions into this, right? Says they call this asset, the Bitcoin in Japan, Japanese Bitcoin. So I'm going to jump over to this particular site. All right, so here it is, securities.io. And some of you guys may be aware of this particular site. Like, maybe you've already been there. Maybe Crypto Hulk or somebody showed you guys this. I don't know. But where the case be is, like it says, access the most exclusive asset class in the world. Let me just pull myself back into the frame. Private markets, create a free account and start investing in startup equity funds, commodities, real estate, and more, right? Fund the next generation of world-class startups, projects, funds, more during their capital rise. Trade private shares in between capital I guess it is raises, just like you trade stocks. Okay, there's a lot to be mentioned here, a lot. Okay, what makes them different from other platforms? Like it says, cut down on research time by accessing unique and highly vetted investment offerings from different asset classes. Unlock your net worth with the ability to trade select holdings on their secondary market. Invest with zero commissions. I mean, they got a lot of cool things, right? I'm going to show you guys the key area here, okay? And let me just get to this for just a moment. All right, in closing, okay? They have office locations, around the world. Obviously, some key ones: San Francisco, Las Vegas, New York, Buenos Aires, Argentina, Madrid, Spain, right? Obviously, Tokyo, Japan. They look to securitize its subsidiaries, have a global footprint with offices around the world. I mean, they stand out, right? It says, meet the securitized leadership team. All this stuff is good. Don't get me wrong, right? I would never discount any of this. But what I do like is when you get to the very, very bottom, and here's some of the, the icing on the cake. Meet their investors, all right? So Morgan Stanley, you guys are familiar with them. Blockchain.com, Coinbase, right? But look at this, guys. Ripple. Ripple's listed on there. Look who's also listed on there. Sony Financial Ventures, right? Yeah, I would definitely say that's the icing on the cake, because when you keep in mind of how this is all tied into everything, it'll blow your mind away. Absolutely. So with everything I found tonight, the way I looked at it was, I wanted to add more to my position for Jasmy, and I put a little bit more away to make that happen, and I was glad to do so. And so, I basically decided at these particular price levels, and let me look at, again, let's bring up CMC. Let me see where we're at. Hold on a second. Let me share the screen with you guys. So the way I look at it, with CMC, I think we're at like what, 0.004 7 or 48. Let's just double check. All right, let's just type in Jasmy. Yeah, so I mean, we're at a ranking of 129. This was as high as, I think, 97th. We were in the top 100 before the whole thing of Binance, the Binance FUD. But basically speaking, we're at 0.004859. And I basically added 2 more bags to my position, and I'll probably continuously do so until I hit my goals. But my goals personally is, 1 million Jasmy. I understand for some people they don't want to do that, and that's okay. But the main reason why I'm doing that is because when I reach some of my goals long term, kind of like, for instance, Salamander, with his XDC, it's like, it puts less pressure on me to achieve some of these goals. And so, and at these particular prices, I am not complaining. Anything underneath a penny, the only complaint I would be is, you know, hey, I didn't acquire more Jasmy at these prices, and I'd be mad at myself for it. But in reality, still very undervalued, and that's just the way I personally look at it. Under a penny is still very, very well undervalued. So that is, I think, just about it. I'll show you guys a couple pictures that were posted recently in regards to Jasmy. And this is also part of the recorded video. So there's Mr. Hara recently, right? There he is. There he is again. There he is again. All right, at this whole thing. And, you know, you can watch the recorded video if you choose to do so. I guess I will show you just a quick little thing, which is cool. I guess this is for Dingy, if you're still around. Dingy, this is for you. I have a quick little video, and I'll pause it at some of the key spots. So this is for you, my friend. Let me take some of the HUD off. There we go. There we go. All right. Yeah, let me pull this up. It's only going to show Mr. Har for like 3 seconds, but it shows him. All right. He's definitely on video. Might not be like him, like on voice, which you also want, but at least you got him on video. Here we go. All right. It's like a teaser, right? It's kind of like a movie trailer. It's a teaser. Anyway. But yeah, that's going to about wrap it up. I'm going to go through the last bit of comments. I do appreciate you guys joining us here for this Friday surprise edition of Crypto Talk Now. And let's see what we got in the comments. Triple C, it moves to hash graph. All right. Ethereum gas fees are higher than ever. Yeah, I don't like those fees either, but I'm not gonna sell all my quant because it has Ethereum gas fees. I'm not gonna sell my Jasmy because it has Ethereum gas fees. It is what it is. Menace, you just exchanged your ETH tokens for XLM and back again. It's an ERC 20 token. Just leave it where it is. That's what I do. Don't move it. Millions of them. Huh. All right. Mike says, Cool Cat, ETH isn't going anywhere. Gas fees will not be a limiting factor for projects that provide substantial utilities. Oh, boy. You just opened up a can of worms with that one. I just want to state that. That's all right. CryptoPoet Max, can your next Jasmy video or live be on a deep dive on the Jasmy lockdown? It could be, but it has to have some substance. So here's the thing, right? So I have technically done a little bit of a deep dive. So originally I had that one where it's got the thumbnail. It says quarter 4 2023, the lockup, right? And then I did a follow-up, I think a couple of videos back, if it was included. It wasn't the main focus. Trying to show you guys the origins of where that came from. I just want to state for the record that I don't want people to be so disappointed where they're all hoping and praying that it's a Q4 lockup and it's all at once. It might not be all at once. You know what I mean? We didn't get no verification that it's all at once. Let me see real quick. Hold on a second. What time is it? 7:46. Oh boy. I hope the game's on. Let me double check what time the game is because I don't want to be here all night either. I missed the game. Dang it. Only a minute left. Gosh dang it. 103 to 100. 105, 100. I'm missing the game. I thought it was going to start at 8:30 Eastern. Well, then again, yeah, that's about 2 hour mark. Man, I should have left a long time ago. Why do I do this? All right. I'll look more into it. I'll show you guys some more about that, but I'm probably, dang it, man. I wanted to at least see the fourth quarter. Josh bought more Jasmine. Couldn't help it. Ethereum is a security. Oh, yes, it's going somewhere along with all the other securities too. They're going bye-bye soon. And you're laughing about it. All right. Abdul Jawad Kazan. Thank you, Max. You're welcome. Everything is a Bitcoin. Hold on. Everything but Bitcoin security, Gary Gensler. Yeah, I mean, technically speaking, if we're going to reference him. All right. I'm just going to see what key things we have here. Cheers. No problem. Comes down to the Jasmine lockdown, Max, when it happens, even if it takes a while for the full lockdown. Trust me. I think you just said that before, or maybe I just went to the bottom. Oh yeah, it'll be big because even at the current supply, I think Mr. Boomer F and Sooner pointed this out, or who was it? Mental I pointed out. So based on the current market, if they locked up 70% of all of the Jasmine tokens, that would put Jasmine at like a penny and a half, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, that would be pretty significant, but I mean, okay, but what about when we're like a real, like the height of a bull market? That could be absolutely massive, right? I just don't think that the lockup's going to happen all at once. It might be gradually, like, they might say, all right, we're going to commit to 70% lockup, and then, we're going to do, I'm just being hypothetical here, right? We're going to do 20% increments or something over, a certain period of time. I'm just saying, I don't want people to think like this is going to be the most amazing thing of all time. It's all going to lock up at the end of this year at 70% lockup on this particular day. You did not get any verification about that. You didn't hear from me in that regard and so on. So I think hopefully the next EMA or something like that, depending on who's going to host it and whatnot, these questions need to be answered. Anyway, yeah, you're welcome. I also got Sato-san, and he is on the recorded video. Yeah, I got a real in-depth thing from Jasmine of Sato, not the one that you guys saw before, but we found on YouTube. This is a different one. All right. That thing. Yeah, no problem. Max, we appreciate you, bro. Thank you very much. GS, Stardog. Yeah, I don't move ERC20. You're welcome to have that debate with Mr. Triple C. All right, 15 cents, and that's what today. Yeah, or not 15 cents. Penny and a half. You're right. So Boomer. I mean, I saw that thing posted earlier. I just didn't have time to break down all the math. My thing was, that's still pretty big. That's pretty significant because I mean, again, in the height of a bull market, you can imagine how much that would be. Thanks, Max. Good show. Bye, y'all. I'm adding Jasmine 0 or Rich as F. No problem. You're welcome. I just apologize if sometimes I am hard on crypto. Just being real and like facts, and I truly believe Jasmine could be something big. So that's okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing that. I mean, if you don't do that, you're going to get wrecked. All right. Think how many people would get wrecked if they weren't, objectionable about stuff. Think about how many people would get wrecked if they didn't recognize ERC20 gas fees, the devil, right? Cool Cat Crypto, excuse me. Yes. Those damn gas fees. So, all right. But I will state this, right? You will know it's a real true bull run. And I think Mike Cornwall's pointed this out as well. when you literally go to purchase, I don't know, let's say it's PsyOps, right? The new one, or PayPay or whatever, right? Mong, whatever. And you're like, oh my God, Max, you won't believe this. Oh, yes, I can believe it. Oh, no, you won't. They wanted to charge me $300 in gas fees for $200 worth of PsyOps. All right? Welcome to the bull run. I'm just saying. That's how you really will know it, because that's what happened in the last bull run. Some crazy, crazy fees for like not that much of the tokens. So, yeah. All right. Have a great night, everybody. I will try to watch some of the highlights. Man, I got to remember, I got to watch the time more often, because my rule of thumb usually is, okay, if the game starts at, for instance, 5:30, and then I'm off of here, for instance, like at right at the 2-hour mark, I'll at least be able to see like the fourth quarter. But technically speaking, I went 2.5 hours. So as a result, I don't get to watch the game. Less QQ, more pew pew. All right. Have a great night, GS and Brittany. Thank you very much. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Over and out. Have a great weekend. Larry will be back tomorrow. I will try to help him if I can. I got to keep in mind, my main concern is trying to make sure my dad is back safe and sound. And I got to help him out with stuff. So it's going to be a busy day tomorrow, but that's okay. Have a nighty night. You look pretty sharp there, Mr. Crypto Puppet. You look like a dawn. And you look lovely as well, Brittany and GS. I'm hoping you're enjoying your sunset. All right. Bye-bye.